Hey guys, it's Lex here, and today I'm going to show you how I made a custom LPS Pygmy Puff for a Harry Potter collab with Retrodolls USA. Here's my first custom, a Fluffle Puff, and the processes were similar, so I thought this time I'd actually record it what I did. So let's get started, shall we? We're going to take some acetone and some cotton balls and remove that factory paint right there. And it worked out pretty well. We're going to use some acrylic paint, purples, pink, there we go, and black and white. And I really like this brand. You can find it cheaply at Walmart, so that's nice. So we're going to start with our layers, building up with watered down acrylic paint. I use about a 50-50 proportion of water to paint. That way you can have smooth layers and your brush strokes won't show, and you build it up over time and it looks as if the factory made it, so that's great. It takes a bit to wait in between layers because you have to wait for those layers to dry, but just pop in a good movie, maybe YouTube something, or binge watch on Netflix, and go to town. Here's layer 2. And as you can see, it's still very much sheer. You can still see the brown underneath, but after a few layers, the color will build up and it'll look so great. Layer 3, and you can still see the brown, but we're getting there. I was binge watching Netflix in between layers, so I had a fun time doing this. And I guess if you were making this, you wouldn't have to paint the body because we're going to be covering it up later with a bunch of fluff, because Pygmy Puffs from Harry Potter are about 10% body and 90% fluff. I just did it because I felt like it. I thought it was good practice, and it really looked cute before I put the fluff on. I had determined that I needed to put the fluff on because I was in the Retrodolls USA collab, but it was just so cute. Oh, layer 4 and 5. Also, check out the other people on Instagram that participated in this collab. It was a great collab. It was a Harry Potter collab, it was magical, and everyone did such a great job with their dolls. So go check it out on Instagram. Okay, so here I am putting the white part of his eyes on. And this is also watered down white acrylic paint. And we're just going to build up the layers here because it makes for a smooth finish in the end. And I was also really more concerned about the bottom part of his eye because that's the part that will be showing, because the top part of his eye is going to be covered with the iris, pupil, and whatnot. So I would focus on the bottom part if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, to make that smooth and nice looking. And I think it took me about 3 layers of white acrylic watered down in paint. So just keep brushing, And a good tip for when you're customizing, you can work on other areas while you're waiting for certain areas to dry. So while I was waiting for his eyes to dry, I decided to paint his feet. It was pink. And it looks so cute. He just looks adorable. Honestly, he looks cute right now already. He's not even done, but look how cute. Get the little toesies. And then while you're waiting for all those pink parts to dry, you can work on his eyes again, which is what I ended up doing. Just going back and forth, back and forth, building up layers. And it's turning out pretty great. And while the eyes were drying, I touched up and did another layer on the feet, and the ears, and the nose again. And I just wanted to show, like, I could have cut all this out, but I wanted to show that it does take several layers to build up the paint. So in future videos, I'll probably just show a couple of layers and not all the layers, but for now, that's what I did. So I used a pencil to mark where I wanted to put the eyes. Looking back, that wasn't the best idea, but I'm not confident in my eye making skills at the moment, so that's what I did. I used metallic acrylic paint to do this, and I used a dark blue, light blue, and a seafoam green metallic paints for this. I wanted to blend all the three together, and I think it turned out really nicely. I did water these down as well, but because of the metallic finish of the paint, like the chemical composition was a bit different than normal acrylic paint, so the proportions weren't half and half. I just played with it until it looked nice and smooth in the end. And just blending all three colors together slowly but surely. And this did require patience. I messed up one of the eyes. I'll let you try to guess which one. By trying to rush the paint process and trying to paint while the paint layer I put on before was still wet. So really make sure to wait till the paint layer is dry, and between each layer, you really have to. Don't get over anxious and try to paint while the paint you were working on still wet. It just doesn't work out. But here, the blending looks nice. I like the blending. And we're blending, and we're blending. It just makes it all, his eyes look so magical like this. I just love the colors. It was at this point that I decided to not put the pupil in because his iris just looks so magical, and I tried putting black on and I didn't like the look, so I scrubbed the black off and repainted the blue, and he looks so cute as is. Here we are putting the eye shines in, and I decided to give him some heart eye shines. I just think they're so adorable, and they're kind of like my thing, I guess, because 3 of my 4 customs have heart-shaped eye shines, so that's just my thing. And look how magical he looks. He looks so magical. Honestly, I was really debating just leaving him as is, making him like a shaved pygmy puff, because he just looks so cute. But later on you'll see that I did go ahead and make him fluffy. Very, very fluffy. Touching up the whites of his eyes because that darn lead was still showing through to me and I did not like it. So we're getting rid of it by going over it with white paint some more. And here we are sealing him in with a watered down Duraclear matte varnish mixture. I did a couple of coats of that to make him sealed. Here are the yarn wefts I made about a month prior to this process. I was really excited to get started on this custom, and I will link the tutorial I used to make them in the description below. But here they are. We're going to attach them with some glue all. So here we are. I like to start my layers from the bottom and then work up. So here we are attaching the first yarn weft to the pygmy puff. And you want to make sure that you really hold down the weft until the glue dries for this, because he's a little bean shaped and he curves around a bit. So the things will stick where they're supposed to stick. Make sure to hold them down until they're dry, or mostly dry. And here we are starting layer 2. I think he actually took like 4 layers or so of yarn wefts. I almost ran out of yarn wefts, but thankfully the amount I made last month worked, so I'm very happy about that. Oh, we forgot to do the front, so I just flipped them over after everything was dried and put on some yarn wefts underneath his chinny chin chin and held them until they dried. Now we're on to layer 3 of yarn wefts. He's a fluffy boy. Get that glue going. And again, I'm going to list the tutorials that helped me throughout this process in the description below. If I didn't cover any of them, just comment and I'll respond. So, we're getting closer, guys. We're almost done with the fluffy boy. I think at this point I was just like, get on there, Fluff. Nope. I want it to have some height too. So we're gonna put some fluff right behind his head. He kind of looks like a troll doll at this point. And then I just had a big clump of yarn wefts that I put and glued on. And here he is, all dried and styled, if you believe it or not. I wanted him to be really, really fluffy. So here he is. Here he is compared to a Warner Brothers Pygmy puff. They're about the same size, actually. And I honestly love mine. He's so cute and fluffy and, you know, spherical. I just love him so much. I think he turned out really great. I might go back in and give him another haircut because he just looks like such a troll doll. But I'm very proud of him, and they're fluffy, puffy friends together. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and have a great day.